Welcome to Black Aristocrat, where kings and queens beam and get seen.
Black Aristocrat, we here. Yeah, yes.
Hello, how are you?
Hey there, beautiful. How are you?
Oh my goodness, I just love when people say that. It's like the thing that kind of like totally gets me. And I am like, how are you, gorgeous?
I'm amazing. Being here today, being a part of your podcast and seeing this come to fruition is just a dream come true to watch you walk out something else in life.
Well, girl, I cannot begin to tell you when you said yes, how that made me feel. I was so honored and so excited. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. We go back so many. Yes, we go back so far. So we're hoping we're going to uncover some of our so far because it's not enough that you're the pastor in one of the largest. I don't want to just say African American church because it's mixed, but let's just call it what it is. It's black church.
It's a black church. It's okay.
And to be doing that for the last 18 years is just phenomenal. And I can't tell you, sister, like so proud of you. Just so proud of you.
Can you believe how fast time has gone? I mean, I can't believe it's 18 years.
I know.
Yeah, I can't believe
it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. I admire you on so many levels, but I wanted to sit down with you because I wanted to take the time. You know, this is a podcast about everything's coming up roses. And
I love that. I absolutely love that. Everything coming up roses, such a positive message to convey to people. I love that.
Yeah, I don't even know. It started. I don't even know where it came from, but it popped in my mind, and I kind of Googled, okay, what does this exactly mean? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, so I think God just like put it on my heart, and I just went out with it and just started. And when I thought of who would I want to join me, I said, oh, I've got to have my sister.
Well, let me say how honored I am to be here today and just excited I am to see you walking in this phase of your life and journeying into this new place of the podcast world. I mean, you have everything that you need to be successful in this area. And I'm so excited to see where God's going to take you. So I'm honored to be a guest on this podcast. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe and follow.
Okay.
This
subscribe,
is great.
Follow.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to get into the nitty gritty of who Pastor Kristina Davis is. So I want to kind of take it way back.
Take a journey back. All the way back. I hope y'all ready for this.
And we going to get started here. I'll just talk about, so can you, first of all, go back and tell the people how did we meet? Because I know you got the story.
So, I came to the Lehigh Valley to join my mom, who was here already working with Chrysler, and we started going to church. I met my husband. Shout out to Pastor Philip Davis, my boo. And I met him. We got married, and we had our first child. And I wanted to go back to work. I had been home going absolutely crazy, Alisha. Mm-hmm. I was like, I can't stay in this house anymore. So I ventured down to your salon and I asked you for a job. And I was like, I'll take whatever day, any day. I need a job.
Wait. So I'm not going to leave the guests hanging like that. First of all, how do you marry a pastor?
Well, he was a minister at the time. He was just a minister at the time, so it wasn't as intense. I didn't know he was going to become a pastor at that particular time, but
Yes, let me see. Oh goodness. Yes. What? Because he was he a pastor? His dad was a pastor.
His dad
at that
was
time.
a pastor, and he was a minister. We were the youth ministers of the
Yes.
church. So, and he became the youth pastor. So we were over the youth for 15 years.
Yes.
So attached to our 18 years of senior pastoring, there's our 15 years that we were with the youth ministry.
Yes. So where are you originally from?
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
And I'm a hardcore Steelers fan.
Oh, goodness.
No compromising.
He loves the
No
Steelers
compromising.
too.
I don't switch teams. I don't do anything like that. I'm a Steelers fan.
Okay, well, you got one of our newer players, one of my clients,
Yes.
on there. He's new. He
Come
started
on.
2 years ago, so he's there this year. But
He's getting acclimated. He's all right.
Yes,
He's doing good.
Yes. So big up to my Pittsburgh Steeler. You know who you are, and I'm so proud of you too, buddy. So I just wanted, so you moved here from Pittsburgh. Your mom was already here.
Yes.
And you were just attending her church, or
I was attending her church.
Okay. Was it the
Yeah.
same church that you pastor now?
It is. So I actually attended for a while, and then I decided to join on my own. And ironically, my now husband, he wasn't here yet.
Oh.
He was in Baltimore, and so I got here. The story, he always tells the story the way he wants to when he has the microphone. But I got here before him, and then he came back from Baltimore, and I was already established in ministry.
Okay.
So, his mom wanted to introduce me to him. And so I obliged, but I didn't like him at first. I didn't. I didn't like him at first. And he teases me all the time, and he says that I just didn't have the Holy Ghost when I met him. So once I got the Holy Ghost, then he became everything. And I was like, that wasn't it. I just needed some time. I was healing from a bad relationship, so I needed time. I really came here to heal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So your mind was just focused. And so was church just a part of your life growing up? Was that something that you pretty much attended? Because I know from the South, right? I live in both states, but I'm in Texas, and I've been there for Dallas, Texas, shout out, for a lot of years. And one of the things that's like the Bible Belt. So church is just so big and it's so mega. And it's almost like, oh my goodness, you don't go to church? Yeah. I mean, so coming back and realize and not, I know that the church is like, you have the largest church here. But that it's just amazing that I don't see like everybody, you know, from growing up, because I'm like, oh, it's not normal. We're grown ups now.
Northeast is different.
Yeah.
Northeast, if you go to church in the Northeast, it's a choice. It's because you really want to build a relationship with God. In the South, it's a part of who you are. But ironically, being growing up in Pittsburgh, I just was a church girl. I grew up in church, and always went to church with my grandmother. And then when me and my mother years later moved to San Francisco for about 6 years, we went to church. So it's just a part of the fiber of who I am.
Yes, and I love that. I definitely had to find it on my own. My mom in her later years came to know Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, but it was not, it wasn't when we were growing up. I mean, they were my grandparents, they were Jehovah's Witness, and then they were from New Jersey, and then they got into Islam, and they were like Muslims. And so it was just kind of like just this like whole scattered thing for me. Yeah. And so I definitely can appreciate and come full circle with that. And so that's why I asked, because it wasn't something that was normal for me.
No, but it was for me. And the good thing is that I didn't have to create myself to be something that I wasn't. Being married to a pastor, I was already a woman of God, so I didn't have to become a woman of God. I was already one who loved Jesus Christ with all of my heart, soul, and mind. So I didn't have to become that.
Yeah.
I was already that.
I can
So
attest to that.
I did. I mean, I was your spiritual barometer and thermometer sometimes.
Yes, I can attest to that because Lord knows when you met me, I was totally not who I am today. But that's what I love so much about, the journey. That's what I love so much about the journey. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's just go back to, so you told me that you were at the church, you were serving, and your husband's mom sees you, and he's like, he sees that you're, a servant of the Lord, and she's like, oh, I want you to meet my son. And okay, you finally, how was that? Did he like ask you out, or how did that go? I
always say
I'm getting nosy. I'm like all up in your business.
No. I think he really had good game, y'all. I have to say that. Yes, he's a man of God, but you got to bring a little bit of swag and have a little bit of game. And he had the best line. I think he had the best line ever. So when he met me, he said that the first time he saw me, he knew I was his wife.
Yes,
he tells that story all the time.
Wife finds a good thing. Yeah,
now that's his version. My version is that I had on a short skirt, y'all, because I forgot all my church clothes in Philadelphia, so I had on a short skirt. So I had to compromise, and the old saying, God don't care how you come, just come, right? So I just came, and so that's his story, but. He didn't talk to me right away. That particular day, he just tried to get me to vote. But the next time I saw him, he shot his best shot. And he said, I have a question to ask you. He said, are you married, engaged, dating someone, seeing someone? And if not, may I take you on a date? And I did what we do best, Alisha. I said, no, sometimes, and maybe.
I love it. It's too much.
I said, well, if he gonna be quick on his toes, I need to be quick on my toes too.
Sometimes
so that was kind of the connection. So his mom never really had to introduce us.
Okay,
that's how we actually connected that day, and it was a really interesting moment. But ironically, I found out as soon as we started dating, went on 2 dates, and then I found out like his marriage wasn't, his divorce hadn't gone through. So he told me he was married his high school sweetheart or whatever, and he said, oh, well, my divorce I asked him if his divorce was cleared, and he said, no. And I said, well, I don't date married men.
Right.
So lose my number. Don't call me. Go back to your wife and work it out with your wife, or call me when you're divorced. So maybe about 2 or 3 months later, he shows up at my job where he had picked me up for the other 2 dates. And there were flowers delivered. There's flowers delivered, a giant 24 bouquet of roses. And there was a card attached, and the card said, it's over. May I take you on a date? I'm downstairs waiting.
Wow.
So we went on. I call that's the official
so
date.
Amazing. That is a fantastic story. So you ended up going on this date. I don't want to make this all about your husband. I really got to get to my homegirl and what's been going on. But I can tell you what I remember. So I just remember you at the, so you wanted a job. I guess, wait, were you moving here? You started dating, and then he said he wanted to marry you. How long was that?
Oh, well, let me just say that dude drug his feet for a little bit. He did. Girl. So 3.5 years, and he didn't know this. We dated, and I now, as you look back over that time, the anxiousness of like being in a really solid relationship and knowing that it's heading towards that direction, wanting it to happen faster. Now, as I look back, I realized that we needed that time to heal and to be a better, a holistic person for one another. But it was 3.5 years, and he didn't know, but I had given him an ultimatum in my mind. So it was coming up on Christmas, and I said, okay, so he has Christmas, he has New Year's, he has Valentine's Day, and he has my birthday. And if he hasn't proposed to me by then,
Right.
I'm leaving.
Deuces.
I'm done.
How about
I'm
throwing
done.
up them deuces?
So Christmas came, and he has this beautiful jewelry box, Leash.
Oh.
This beautiful jewelry box. So of course, I'm thinking he put it in a big box, but it's a ring. It's a bracelet. I am totally. I can't tell you what happened to the bracelet. I don't know how fast it disappeared, where it went, whatever. I was totally upset. New Year's Eve came. He did not. He didn't propose. So now, of course, I'm like, my ultimatum has, gone into action. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to wait till my birthday, but he has. I gave God my word. I will wait until my birthday. So Valentine's Day comes and he proposes on Valentine's Day.
Oh my goodness. So this is like so significant.
Yes.
This
Yes.
whole coming up roses and our red.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. This is so
Yes.
significant. Thank you. I'm
Yes.
so excited.
Yes.
It
This
makes it
is
even
perfect.
more special.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh man. And so, wow. I got to the after part. I just can remember when you were, deciding to move there. So by this time, did you hadn't moved here yet, right? Or
No,
you
I
were
was here.
Oh, you were already
Yep,
here.
I had
Okay.
moved here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just can remember the day you came to the salon. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that.
That's where it all went down.
No, we terrorized Pastor Kristina. Okay, let me tell you how much we were something else.
The history is amazing, and the friendship and the relationship that was developed over the years. But it's the things that we've done. So I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
My goodness. Well, I want you to talk about some of the good times, but I can tell you, I can remember you walking in the door and saying, hey, and I was like, are you serious? Well, you want to do hair. You had been doing hair. You were always a diva. You always kept it fly. And I was like, are you serious? And I just knew you were getting married. Because you got to understand, me and your husband were like the youngest
Business
entrepreneurs,
owners, yes.
business owners in the community.
Wait. My husband and I, it was our business.
Right. Wait.
Clutch your pearls. Clutch your pearls. Go ahead. Yes, y'all.
No.
We's.
Yeah, we all of us.
all.
Right, yes. You and Reminisce.
Was in rental. Yes, we had discount rental.
Yes.
So
Discount rental.
So my husband decided that he's not gonna do a branch of Rent a Center. So he created his own Rent a Center, which is called Discount Rentals. That's super successful.
And we we
they
were young
needed
back
it in
then.
the
I was
area.
young. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I went in there and looked like, we were like, can we get us a big screen
And
TV?
we got a beeper. We had beepers. We were the first
sure
ones to
did
have
have the
beepers.
You had the
Lehigh
beepers.
Valley, yes.
I sure did.
Yep, we had the biggest contract for beepers in the
My
Lehigh
goodness,
Valley.
girl. I
Yeah.
cannot. But yes,
Yeah.
it's true. And because I lived in the apartments right upstairs.
Yep.
And they wrote an article, they called us the upwardly mobiles. And I was like, wow. And it's just so funny when I think about it. And so at that time, I think I was on Northampton Street.
Yep, you were.
And you came, I know we started working together, but did you automatically just take over a salon and start a new location
No, I worked with you at Northampton, but you were already planning the move
Okay.
to the bigger location, which was so super exciting. Again, like Alisha said, she was one of the youngest, but she also was one of the largest salons in the Lehigh Valley.
Wow.
When you made the choice to go over there, it was risky, and I got to see you do it scared. I did. I got to see you do it afraid and fearlessly and all at the same time. So the courage and the fearlessness that you had was this amazing combination of confidence that says it's going to work. So we all went, and I worked there for about 6 months, and then you said, I'm going to do one more. And we had really just settled in at the new large location. And you said, I'm going to do one more. We need to take over Allentown. So you found us, we went driving, we found a spot in Allentown, and you said, I'm going to get the salon. And then you looked at me in the car before we got out and you said, you want to run it?
And you were like, okay.
I said, okay.
And then,
I will.
oh my goodness. And then it was just like we were partners and that was it.
Now, I didn't want to leave the nice fancy salon.
I know, the fancy.
At first, because
wasn't
it was
so
fancy. It was fancy.
Oh my goodness. We had custom made things. You can't buy it in the store.
Absolutely.
Oh.
It was amazing. It was so posh and sophisticated. And I mean, for those of you who are even trying to open salons right now, when I tell you we did what you're trying to do now, back then, but she did it. She did it like all the way.
I can't
all the
believe
way,
you did
100% just elegant. It was amazing. So I didn't really want to leave the big salon because people loved coming. Our community, our African-American community, it was a salon for them, and they loved coming there because it was something that was for them, by them, but it was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
So,
I still think about what were we thinking with the, we had the cherry wood stations with the triangle and rounded mirrors. And I mean, we just went and chandeliers. We went all out. I was like,
beautiful.
wow.
Yeah.
But that was after standing behind this chair in our small little shop. Let's talk about that. We had our our shop was maybe
2-3 chairs. Was it 2?
Yeah, but it was only like 400 square feet.
Teeny.
It was so tiny.
It was the size of probably a bathroom.
Yes,
it was small.
Yes,
it was small.
And then we had the nerve to start doing hair shows.
Yep. Oh, that was great. That was great. So they weren't expecting that in the Lehigh Valley. And both of us had already participated in hair shows prior. In Pittsburgh, I went to one of the schools in Pittsburgh, and the beauty schools in Pittsburgh, and had my license. And I would go and participate at the International Hair Show on behalf of my school, which was a Votech school.
Yeah, Votech.
I was one of the lead stylists that would go and perform or whatever, or represent the school. So I was familiar with. So when you said let's do it, I was like, we do this all the time in the city. You did it all the time in Jersey.
Yes.
So we were familiar, and we said let's bring it here. And when we did it, when I tell you we packed out the place.
Listen, remember the fire marshal had to come.
Yes,
they were like,
out.
nobody else can come in.
It was
here.
packed out.
We did. Not only did we do the VFW, we started. Remember, we did Ringside.
We
first.
did Ringside.
Larry Holmes,
yes.
Ringside, his first bar area. Then we did VFW, and then we had to move it to hotels because it was so big. And then even when we got to the hotel, they tried to shut us down.
Tried to shut us down.
What's so ironic about the story that you told me that you were doing it in school? I don't think that I knew that. I knew you were amazing, and you were on your game, on top of your game as far as making folks beautiful and teaching other people, but I didn't know that we kind of meshed with that same thing, because I was like, for Empire Beauty School, I was like, I got the Shanemans Award and was out doing that stuff. So that's so, I never put 2 and 2 together, but it just makes sense. It's God ordained, honey.
And when I went back to Pittsburgh, I was able to go to my Votech school and see all the awards that I had won when I was in beauty school at the different the New York International Fashion Shows and different things. My first time in New York was at a hair show. It was at a hair show in New York.
Jacob Javits?
Jacob Javits said
wow.
And I'm going to tell you this, that I'm scared little. I'm not afraid of the city. However, New York City is a different type of city to go to when you're like 16 years old. So me and all of the girls from the beauty school get there, and we decide to take a ride on the subway. So first of all, we're going to get fake ID, y'all. I was not a pastor's wife then. Although I was a church girl, I just wanted to explore. So we go get fake ID. And we're on our way back. We get on the wrong train. I don't know. I can't even remember where we ended up, but we're on the wrong train. We get off the train, and there's one Caucasian girl with us. And you know, occasionally in New York, you run into someone in the subway that is not too well, right? So the guy had just, I would have to say he just came back from Vietnam or something, and he saw the Caucasian girl and just started to pee all over her.
No!
We had to ride all the way back on the subway with her smelling of urine, and she was humiliated. But it's New York.
Oh my!
That was my first time there.
I cannot imagine. Oh,
we won the show the next day.
She's probably
scarred to this day. She's getting trauma therapy.
Oh my goodness!
Years later.
What a story. So my goodness, we went from you move into here to the Lehigh Valley. Mm-hmm. You serving at church. You meet your husband. He proposes to you, and you're gonna set your foot here. You come, you start working at the salons with me. We start expanding salons. We start traveling, going on the road, and doing hair with entertainers.
Yes,
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
I bet a lot of people don't know that about you. They probably see you sit there as first lady. They don't know that you work 12, 13, 14-hour days along with me, that we traveled and we did celebrities. Gosh, back then you couldn't tell us nothing in the 90s.
Not at all. Well, you were one of the best stylists that I had ever encountered. And your creativity, your ability to give people and make people feel beautiful was something that we all were able to draw a piece from as hairstylists. And one of the major components of your teaching and of your salon was that we are not a hair salon. We are a hair care salon. And you demanded from us as stylists that we care about the hair, not just about the style.
Yes.
And that stuck
we had the
all
healthy
of
hair
us.
is beautiful
Healthy
hair.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what our term was.
Yeah.
Healthy hair is beautiful hair.
And we all had to have beautiful hair too. So you made sure we took care of each other's hair, and we made sure that we were together too. We didn't just say it and not live it. Like, we had healthy hair. Can you do my hair tomorrow?
Ooh, girl, let me tell you about that there. So the funny thing about this conversation is some would say I only hired pretty.
They did. They said
I only hired pretty girls.
Yeah.
And it was but we had every ethnicity.
Yep.
We had Syrian. You recruited. Okay, so let's talk about that. Not only before we even start, we were traveling with the entertainers, but for some reason, when you went to recruit for the salon, when we started, when
you were like, what are
took
you
over
doing?
Allentown, listen, I have no idea what went through your mind. We were training. We started everyone as an assistant. Do you remember who?
Everybody.
How did we come? I don't know. I didn't come up with these ideas by myself, but we started everyone as an assistant and had them. Didn't matter how long they had their license, so that they could have the same. We would have a system.
Yep.
Remember the system on how we base hair, the system on how we apply things, the system on, and it was just this whole thing that we had. And then you go, well, I want to open up Allentown, and you recruit a whole new team, a whole new staff.
Wait, but the irony in that is that we again are African American salon, and at that time, again the largest African American salon chain, because now there's two of them.
Yep.
And she says, go recruit who you want to work. And I come back with 2 Hispanic girls.
Yep.
That I get from the beauty school. Now, I watched their work ethic. I watched how they dealt with each other and with their clients. I went 2 days in a row because she was like, I'm leaving this up to you. And she comes back in because she only came to that salon like you came like what once a week.
They would throw
baby.
shade because the other salon was the fancy.
Right, that's
so they
the
thought it was
fancy
the
one.
fanciest.
So we love to go there for training. So she would come on that Wednesday, and she comes the first Wednesday, and I got my team. And she says, let me see you in the back room. I need you to explain it. Now, I promise you, I had tested them and tried them. They were ready. They could flip their curling irons and everything. I was like,
we
y'all,
were using the real
Marcel curling irons.
Marcel,
Yeah.
we was up
I said,
there.
y'all better be ready when she comes because she's
goodness.
going to test you on everything. So I said, she needs her hair washed. So y'all better give the best shampoo ever.
Oh.
And they did.
Yes.
And they wowed you and stayed with us for the entirety.
Yes. And then I can think of all the different folks who came to work with us.
Judy and Raynice. And I mean, we had a squad.
Evelyn. We had Evelyn. We had the other so we had Virgin Islands Ave, Puerto Rican Ave. We had Brenda, Puerto Rican Brenda. We had Syria Miriam. We had we hired a lot. We had Brian. Remember
Brian?
We had Tabby.
We had Gonzalez.
Yes, you did have Gonzalez. And you know, I ride past his spot sometimes, and I think about that. That is just amazing. So it was like we were raising up, like. And we still get to see the folks working out here
the
today.
fruit of our labor is still there. But my girls were afraid in my team, not in Easton, but my team was afraid to barber. And shortcuts were really popular. They're coming back around now, but they didn't start last year. They were here before. They were here before. So me and Alisha were the master cutters, and we could barber and cut. So I had to get the girls comfortable barbering, so I bring a barber in to assist so that while he's there, he can also train.
We had one work release barber, remember?
Yeah. We did. We
We sure did.
We did not discriminate in any way. we made opportunities for everybody.
We weren't playing with
had
that.
a chance.
Yes,
Everybody had a chance.
All the little drug dealer boys, they used to respect us. They say, y'all work hard. You always, y'all got it going on. Hey, they in the club. Remember the one club was across the street, and they would just, and our lights be on, we still in there working, cutting hair, doing hair. It was
and they would sit.
amazing.
Sometimes a couple would sit in their car to make sure that we got out.
That was true.
Okay,
And
got
Clinton,
into our
remember,
cars.
he would come at the end on his way home from work because he worked nights, and he would drive through. But that was true.
The community protected us.
Yep, they sure did.
Yeah. And in Allentown, I had the same thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I wasn't in the fancy salon. I was in Allentown.
I have laughed. I cannot believe that this is supposed to be about you, and then we just went down the hair salon.
But this is about me. This is about us.
Oh my goodness.
This is about us.
Because that's how deep that relationship is, because there had to be a tremendous level of trust,
yes,
right?
There did.
For us to establish that, and just, it's not every day that you meet someone who can share your vision and, or that you can share, and like people want to be in the front. And you know what's so ironic is that I started this thing, but then we did it together. And now what's so amazing is me being able to come behind you in Christ and to be able to see you lead me where I need to go and make me a better person.
That's an honor.
So full circle, it does. It makes me almost like well up, but I don't want to well up because but it's such a tremendous amount of joy seeing that and being there, and just even just sitting in your church in a pew, behind you. I don't need to be up front. I don't need to be right next to you. I just know that there's that love, and just to see and be so proud of that. Wow. It means you have no idea. I'd be don't ever touch Pastor Kristina.
That means the world to me,
to
know you're there.
Yeah.
And how honored I am to pastor someone who once mentored me. And like you said, you don't want to well up, but it is, you don't know how God is going to use a relationship. But the thing about relationships is that when they are kingdom relationships, God is intentional. Like he has a plan. So we knew that we were meant to be in each other's lives.
Wow.
So even the time that we weren't, we still were, whether people liked it or not, but we still were.
All right, whether they liked it or not,
we
whether
still
they like it or not today,
It
honey,
doesn't
because we're
It
like,
doesn't matter.
whatever, you're talking about old
Yeah.
stuff, we're good.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
good. And we liked it. So I wanna, if I never got a chance to thank you, I wanna thank you for believing enough in me and believing enough in all the stylists that you trained and that you taught how to do every type of hair, because that was one of our things. You could not, just because we were an African American salon, we did every type of hair. We had every kind of client, and we made sure of that. And so I want to thank you for, training up. But that's not the most impressive thing about you. Oh, and then, oh goodness, I want to thank you for traveling to some of those crazy situations. I think you even made it in one of the videos. I think it was Foxy Brown, Lil Kim,
Da Brat, Biggie.
Yes, Biggie, Total. We were doing it with, we were with Bad Boy. I think I was doing. No. I forget which
that
artist
day we
you
did. Everybody. We did
Foxy,
everybody because a couple stylists didn't show up.
Yes, remember so my team ended up doing so it was a bank. We were at like an abandoned bank,
and then Foxy went to go do a show with LL Cool J.
At the
Came
Apollo
back
Theater.
And her hair was completely ruined, so we had to. And her stylist was gone, so we had to redo her hair.
Yes,
it was an amazing time, and that was one of his first big videos, so we got to be a part of that with the whole Bad Boy.
This was the No One Else remix. If I'm good, and then I don't know how you ended up. I guess they thought you were beautiful and pretty, and you and Tammy ended up in the video.
I don't know how we ended up in there. I don't.
You did hair, and then you ended up in the video. Oh my goodness! But talk about, girl. What about those trips, huh?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, every stylist or anyone in the beauty industry has this dream to do an artist, to do someone in the industry or someone famous. And, I don't even know how it came about, but I know it was you networking and doing what you do at the time. And we ended up in this relationship with Bad Boy Production and
in Arista
and
Uptown.
Yep.
So I sat at the table with Andre Harrell.
Yep.
I mean,
I
didn't matter if it was the Russell Simmons back in the day.
It was all kinds
we
of
we were up in there. Louis Vuitton. Can you believe?
Yes.
I did Grandmaster. I did Lenny Kravitz, Grandmaster. I did the Grandmaster
I had to
Flash
cut the
for the
hair
Louis
out
Vuitton.
of his ears.
You
and
sure
his nose
did,
because he didn't really need a haircut.
And we
so
went
you were like
everywhere.
clean him up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that was so amazing to do that shoot. Vibe magazine.
Yes, Source magazine.
Source magazine.
Yes, we were killing it, honey.
And Black Hair magazine.
Yep.
Your stuff was in.
And
our stuff was
everybody.
always in every magazine.
And not just that,
in the
Brenda
area.
we did American Salon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, we were killing it.
We
I
were
don't know what we
killing
were
it.
on, but we were killing it.
Well, God, God was just intervening and making a way for us so that we could tell these stories to others that while you were working, I was praying.
LA, yeah,
While
LA. Oh my goodness, yes, because you had to.
While you were making, but these trips were crazy, y'all. I just want you to know that they were crazy. I was just there's just this one, okay. So I tell Alisha like 5 times. Go move the car, Alisha.
In New York?
It's her car.
New York?
It is her car.
Oh
I said,
my goodness.
Leash, go move the car. You're gonna get towed or get a ticket. She said, "Oh, I'll move it." Anyway, I left her downstairs because she was networking with some people, and I said, "I'm gonna go upstairs because I didn't drink or anything like that." So you network, and she comes back up, and I said, "Did you move the car?" And she said, "I'll do it in the morning." The morning comes, the car is towed.
Was it?
The car is towed.
We
We
so
are
much
literally
Were we stuck?
we get in the taxi to go to the tow yard, and she tells off the taxi driver. And
you can
he
believe
kicks
that.
us out of the car about 2 miles from the tow yard with all of, and the Marcel
sorry.
irons, all of our equipment, our luggage.
that's what I was wondering because we used to
I
have
was
big
so
duffel
mad at
bags.
her. I looked at her and I said, "I am so pissed at you right now because we had big bags and we're
I
dragging
mean,
them
duffel bags
with
of hair.
heels on
Yeah.
because we're on our way to another shoot."
And we were fabulous.
Fabulous.
I mean, we could not
Fabulous.
go to a shoot. That's another thing. So, message when you go out there and you want to be on the scene and you want to be
Come
on
ready.
the set, come ready. And
Come
also
ready.
look the part. Get dressed. Make sure your
That's
hair
right.
is together.
That's
I mean, it's a way to live.
That's right.
It's a way
That's
to
right.
live.
That's right.
And so,
Yeah.
yes, girl, I'm so sorry.
Whew, 2 miles. I fussed the whole time.
With those heavy bags full of hair.
And then she would just stop because her feet were hurt and start laughing. And I'm like, this is not funny. No other taxi would pick us up. I don't know if he put out an APB and said, "Don't get the ladies walking up the street."
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Oh,
but I was
God. We had a
hardcore back
ball.
then.
Yeah,
I
we
was
had a
definitely
ball.
hardcore.
Yeah.
I think Renice, though, she say, "Oh, you got soft. You soft." Like, that's what she says about me now. I'm like, I'm sorry that I grew up and like
Yeah.
grown up.
Yeah.
I'm not really soft. I am a lawyer, right?
Yes,
you do
absolutely.
get that. I can't be
Absolutely.
exactly so soft.
No, you're not.
It's just a whole nother
You're
way you
as
flex.
soft as you need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you need to be.
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Well, I just want to just thank you for even, I know it was so out of your comfort zone to even hang out with us. And I mean, let's say it's the entertainment industry.
It is.
so-
Sometimes I had to take a walk, y'all. I was like, yeah, this party is way too much for my spiritual life.
Yes.
And I would just take. I would
But
say
we
it's
got to
okay.
go to Puffy's parties, remember, girl,
Yes.
back in the day.
But when they got too much, I would go to the diner across the street or whatever, then check back in when things were almost over.
yes, right. Oh, right.
Yeah, I'll come back and get you. I'm not gonna leave her there.
Oh, I'm
I wasn't
sorry.
leaving you anywhere. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go to the diner, have coffee, and
But I had
tea,
limits,
and talk
too.
on the payphone.
I had limits. Even when when working with celebrities, I had
Gotta
limits.
be
There were a lot
careful.
of times they wanted, because I was close to, like Kima put me on. And so I was very close to her. So there were times when, even if they were sending cars for us or doing things like that, because there were definitely those times
my
where they would
God.
send the cars to come and get you and,
the
stuff.
hotels
Yes.
that were lavish
Oh.
and beautiful.
the
and
beautiful hotels.
Food and they took good care of us.
And you don't even know,
part.
sometimes you're making more than the artist
Yeah.
who's on there. That was the
Yeah.
crazy part. But I didn't know back
We
then.
wouldn't have known that.
I wouldn't have known that. I'm just like, no, what's your day rate? I'm giving my day rate. Then then you get your per diems for like your meals and your stuff like that. And like, but then they're like, you're still billing for travel and hair and this and that. And then so you're like, yeah, you don't even know that until like years later. And they're like, sometimes you're making more money than we were making on there because it was coming out of their budget.
Right.
Really.
So you remember, my temper tantrum at the video shoot.
Which one?
At the big one, the big one, because it was supposed to be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And now, so I had a whole breakdown because I was like, she's fussing.
Was
and
it
she said-
overnight? Was it an overnight
We didn't
shoot?
get home. We didn't get done till 6 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
So we're heading.
That's normal,
Now
yeah.
it's like 12 a.m. and she's fussing. I know they better pay us, so I drag one of the hair bags out like I'm leaving, and I said he calls me out of my name. He did call me a name.
Ooh.
Find out what that B is doing because she got all because he said the hairdressers are leaving. He tells tell Diddy that, and he says, find out what's going on with her. So I said, we're leaving because we don't have a contract that covers these hours. And I said, so this was my biggest bonus, y'all, too. So I just want you to know because I made a whole fuss and I was like, this is not in our contract and we cannot be held to the contract that we had for that amount of money. And then now it's 12 a.m. and we were supposed to be done at 6 p.m. So I'm just trying to understand if our contract is going to be amended or whatever. And she's cracking up, like, let her go. Because I was like, no, I got this one. So I'm having a fit, and he definitely called me out of my name. But then he tells the guy to come over, and what was his assistant's name?
I forgot.
The guy.
I know who you're
the
talking about. I
well-dressed.
can see who you're talking about. The thing is, I forgot the name.
So he says he wants to know if you will stay. And I said, you tell he that I call him Mr. Combs and he should call me by my name. And my name is Mrs. Davis. So he turned, when he told him what I said, he turned around and started laughing and said, I got y'all, Miss Davis. And we got the salon got a big increase on that night. And remember, that's when he got us the Louis Vuitton job. He said, don't worry, I'm going to take care of y'all. And
girl,
he got us that job.
There was so much. I appreciate you sharing that story.
Yeah.
There was so many times. And so for me, working overnight and doing all those, that was just like normal. You got to kind of put that in. And so I was hungry though. Let me just say.
We had been up since
loved what I was doing.
in the morning. Yeah.
Oh.
Because we had to come in early and set up and all of, driving
there, whether it was or getting in the car, it didn't matter. I still had to pack and have my stuff ready. And it wasn't like I didn't work in the salon the day before or the night before.
The next day. So.
It was a lot of work. I can't believe we spent that much time on that. But honey, it was some good days.
It
was some great award shows, some amazing video shoots, some amazing magazine shoots. Just some of the most beautiful places.
People that we met.
Yes. Oh, my goodness, Eric Spearman, the makeup artist, and Zinga. Just some of the, and he's deceased. It is so crazy when I hear, and just Mama Sib, and the styling. Heck, Misa at the time, one of his daughter, his Puff's baby's, baby daddy, whatever. I don't know what you call it. But it was Justin, right? I forget. Yeah. But anyway, it's just so many people, and so just really good experiences. And I'm so glad that you got to share it with me.
I am too. Thank you. And thank you for trusting me to travel with you. Thank you for trusting me to be a part of that season of your life.
Yeah, it was a crazy season. I said, boy, we drove you crazy, didn't we?
But here's the blessed part of our relationship is that we knew we were diametrically different. She knew that I was the saved. Everybody knew I was the saved Christian girl. So if they would get too wild, she would go, all right, change the music because the church girl's about to have a whole fit. Stop cussing because the church girl's she protected.
I did.
She protected me in that way too. And I would just look at her and wink like, thank you, because the music would get all the way, you talking the 90s, the music was all the way live and a curse word every other.
Yes.
So that's what they wanted to listen to, but you made sure that I was...
we tried to be respectful. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to subscribe right here, right now to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on all socials at Alisha Melvin ESQ and #BlackAristocrats. Thank you so much for joining us.